If you smell what the prince is cooking. What's up, guys? It's me. It's the XXIX Prince. And I had to get that intro out there. Come on. You know, sometimes you could be a buffoon in here, and sometimes you don't. Now, next hero of WrestleMania I'll be talking about is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Talk about a guy who had a really odd journey and became one of the most popular superstars of all time. Why would I choose him to be a hero of WrestleMania? Pretty simple, because at WrestleMania he got the biggest moment of his life when he was given the hand by Hulk Hogan. He had kind of an underdog story in the beginning, but then when he became the Hollywood guy that we all know and sorta like, he was one of the biggest sells in WrestleMania history. I mean, easily. His match with John Cena was a big fucking sell. So it was just really good to see that The Rock was one of the biggest sellers at WrestleMania history. I mean, he put asses to seats. You know, he definitely kicked ass. I mean, and he only had a total of 11 matches. One really doesn't count, if you know what I'm talking about. But WrestleMania 13, we kick it off when he was Rocky Maivia, the biggest piece of shit wrestler of all time. Rocky Maivia was garbage. He took on Sulton. He beat him like whatever. I don't care, because that was garbage. Next up, we got Ken Shamrock and him, The Rock, putting the Intercontinental Championship once again against, Ken Shamrock, WrestleMania 14. He had what could have been a really good match at WrestleMania. They had better matches before and after this one, but I wish this one gave it some time and they made it more special, because it's Ken Shamrock and The Rock. And you could have done something really good, but yeah, I still wish it was a much better done match, personally. What the fuck is wrong with these notes? Sorry. I'm sorry, I'm Googling something, but it takes so fucking long. Anyways, yeah, he beat The Rock. He beat Ken Shamrock by disqualification, of course. But it was still, for the little that we got, it was still better than his stupid ass match with Sulton. And he was Rocky Maivia. That was just garbage. And I need to close these lids down. Nope. Let's just leave them on just so that happens. But we had next up, he main events WrestleMania 15 against Stone Cold Steve Austin, being the first of many Stone Cold Rock matches at WrestleMania. And at WrestleMania 15, Rock and Stone Cold, that was the only good thing about the entire show. Everything else was garbage. But these guys definitely killed it in the ring. They had a really good match. It's a very underrated WrestleMania main event. I'll say that because, people talk about like other main events like Hogan and Andre, the second Rock and Stone Cold. This was probably the more underrated one, probably because at the time the Attitude Era wasn't that fresh, I could say. I mean, actually it was. I mean, it was gone for like 3-4 years by now. And, you easily get the two biggest names in the company, and they killed it at WrestleMania 15 with the whole story of Mankind being the ref, but Vince tried to screw Stone Cold over, but Stone Cold managed to win again. And yeah, pretty good match. I feel like this is more of a McMahon Stone Cold match than a Rock Stone Cold match. That's probably why not a lot of people talk about this match, more of the moment. And that's good because, even though The Rock lost, there was more for him to come later down in the years because WrestleMania 16, he still got fucked over when he took on Triple H, Mick Foley, and The Big Show in a fatal 4-way elimination match. Possibly people remember this for the McMahon in every corner. Foley with Linda, Triple H with Stephanie, Rock with Vince, and Shane with The Big Show. So there was that, and Foley and Mick Foley and what's his face, Big Show had nothing to do with the match. It was mainly about Triple H and The Rock. And by the time we got to Triple H and The Rock, we were kind of already tired. And this led to Vince screwing over The Rock, meaning that Triple H turns heels. And I wish it was just Triple H versus The Rock. And if he loses like that by getting screwed up by Vince McMahon, I would have been perfectly fine with that. But instead, we got this weird ass, Mick and Big Show. I mean, Mick Foley should have just taken a break at WrestleMania, and Big Show probably would have been in that one battle royal. You know, they could have done something else with these guys, but you know, we got Rock and Triple H later down in the years, which at the time was phenomenal. I mean, they had great matches, so there's that. But you know, this wasn't quite yet the Rock's moment. WrestleMania 17, he was a really really good wrestler at the time. You know, Rock was just like at the name, like he was just on top. It was him and Stone Cold the second time ever at WrestleMania 17, easily the best out of the three matches. Stone Cold and the Rock at 17 was the best one, just because of like the bleeding, the story, everything was just really good, and it was on Stone Cold's hometown, making the crowd much more hyper. And Vince McMahon, even though he came out and turned on The Rock and having the whole Stone Cold Vince turn, you can't deny that moment just like meant a lot for WrestleMania wrestling history. I mean, first of all, that's a really interesting moment. I wish it was booked better down in the year, but it wasn't. But I still feel bad for The Rock in this point, but definitely picks it up at WrestleMania 18 by having the biggest win of his life. No title is bigger than taking on the immortal Hulk Hogan, or in this case, Hollywood Hulk Hogan, and having the crowd at the top of their lungs chanting for both guys. You know, it was just a hyped crowd, a really good match, really good story, great fucking story. And The Rock beats Hulk Hogan. He gets a phenomenal win at WrestleMania, and then that leads to the Outsiders turning on Hulk Hogan, but Rock comes in and attacks, helps out Hulk Hogan, the Hulkster, and the full-on Hulk Hogan comes with him like this, you know, doing everything, you know, and then he gets his hand raised by Hulk Hogan. That's a great moment for The Rock. You can't deny, even though Rock believes that was one of his biggest moments ever, and that should have been the main event. We all agree. It was, I mean, people complain that we didn't get Stone Cold versus Hulk Hogan, which I agree. But I mean, we still got Rock and Hogan, which was still a really good match. You can't deny that. So, there's that. But then WrestleMania 19, you know, he gets another big victory against Stone Cold Steve Austin in the final conclusion of the WrestleMania trilogy. This is Stone Cold's last match. It was good that Rock did everything to try to beat Stone Cold. That's what makes the match even bigger for me. But even though it was kind of a finisher fest with stunners and rock bottoms everywhere, it took 3 rock bottoms to beat Stone Cold Steve Austin. But The Rock finally beat Stone Cold at WrestleMania. A great moment. He's finally at the top. And he was a good heel. You know, a lot of people hate on Hollywood Rock, but I thought it was a really good gimmick. It was really funny and entertaining, especially that promo with if I had to pick my favorite Hollywood Rock moment, it would probably be that moment with him and Hurricane backstage. If not, I would choose the Rock concert. That was just fucking brilliant for the writing at the time. It was just brilliant. And, you know, eventually Goldberg buries him again. And then, WrestleMania 20, I guess he comes back. Even though I was fine with The Rock not being part of WrestleMania 20, you can't deny that he puts a lot of seats to the Madison Square Garden. I mean, he teamed up with Mick Foley to reform the Rock and Sock Connection, and we got them taking on Evolution, putting over Evolution. That's really great for them. And yeah, I really enjoyed that moment with Randy Orton, Ric Flair, and Batista standing tall over 2 Attitude Era legends. And, you know, Rock, you know, gives a good tribute to Mick Foley, like, here we go, this is your moment, you know, because The Rock was already a bigger star at the time, you know, and that's a really good thing that The Rock kind of gave his little moment to Mick Foley. I really respect that. We don't see The Rock because he's doing movies like Tooth Fairy and shit like that until the Hall of Fame 2008, where he inducts his father, Rocky Johnson, but people mainly remember this for the beginning of the John Cena Rock feud with, you know, Rock calling out the Marine movie. It was just, I believe this is the beginning of the Rock and Cena feud. Not at WrestleMania 27, which is the next thing I'll be talking about, how he screwed over John Cena and having The Miz go over, and then he still fucks up The Miz, which is stupid. But, you know, it set up Cena and Rock. That's great. And we get to Cena and Rock, and I already mentioned that this is my favorite John Cena WrestleMania match. But Rock and Cena at WrestleMania 28, what a great like spectacle. I mean, you could have put over John Cena because of like at the time being John Cena, the taking on someone with just as a big ego as he is, and The Rock beating John Cena. It was on his hometown, I believe. Yes. I personally wish this was the only match they had. They did not need to have it at WrestleMania 29 because this match was phenomenal. It deserved to be a once-in-a-lifetime moment. John Cena could not beat The Rock. If he didn't, he would lose everything. So then, that way, John Cena would definitely feel like an underdog, not fucking making Rock his bitch at WrestleMania 29. And let's talk about WrestleMania 29. Holy crap. This match gets worse the more I think about it because he had potential of turning John Cena heel. He had so much potential of doing better stuff. And at the time, The Rock wasn't him. He was a PG sellout, as we all like to call him. But, this was just a finisher fest with like 20 FUs, 20 rock bottoms. Hell, John Cena hit a rock bottom of his own, and that could have been the ending of the match, and I would have been happy with that ending. There's a lot of cool spots, I'll say that, because like there's part where John Cena does this, the people's elbow, because that's what made him lose the first time, but this time he reverses it, and then it was weird. I remember watching this live. I went to go get a glass of water. I come back and the match is over. We're like, how did it end? With a FU? Really? Yeah, it was just like weird. By the time the match ended, people remember this for being one of the shittiest moments of WrestleMania history, with Cena having his hand raised by The Rock doing the Marine shit, and then eventually he ends up leaving. From there on, we don't see him until WrestleMania 30, having that epic moment with him, Stone Cold, and Hulk Hogan. That moment, we haven't seen Rock since WrestleMania 29. That was a perfect way to bring him back, because we didn't see it coming. That's another thing. That was just brilliant in their behalf. WrestleMania 31, he has a really weird segment with Ronda Rousey, with Stephanie and Ronda Rousey and all this other shenanigans. But WrestleMania 32, he has one last match, in his last match ever, which was against Erick Rowan. What? How was this happen? Well, pretty simple. The Rock came. He was the host of WrestleMania 32. He has a promo. Wyatt's interfere. He said, you know what? We're going to have a match. I don't give a fuck who it is. We're going to make history. I'll take on any of these guys. Erick Rowan comes in, and Rock has officially broken the record by having the shortest match in WrestleMania history. 6 seconds. Wow, what a fucked up way to bury up the Wyatts. That was just stupid and boring. And then John Cena comes out. So, despite The Rock having a really mishmash of WrestleMania moments, you can't deny that The Rock put ass to seats. So that's a big thing. And plus, he had a big mark out moment with him and Hogan standing tall. That was just beautiful done. And, he has a total of, let me get this straight, 11 matches, a record of 6 wins and 5 losses. If I have to pick my worst match, I want to say the Erick Rowan match because it fucked up the Wyatt family. If not, actually, let's go with Rocky Miavia because that wasn't The Rock. That was Rocky Miavia. Let's go with that. That's the worst one. And my favorite one by far, him and Stone Cold Steve Austin from Mania 17. That match is just a classic. You can't stop that. So yeah, there's that. Next guy I'll be talking about is, of course, Mr. WrestleMania. And I hope you guys are excited. Till next time, it's me, the Ayo Lee XXX Prince. And until then, I'm out.